Hello and a very big welcome to Miracle of the Week, my brand new video series where I share with you wonderful success stories of the miracles that I see people creating in their own lives through working with me. So here is my very first episode. I hope you enjoy it. So for this week's Miracle of the Week, my very first Miracle of the Week that I'm going to broadcast with my client's permission, is a lovely young man who I saw this week who came to see me to help him stop smoking. He has smoked ever since he was 12 and he's nearly 40 now, and he was quite poorly. So he had a collapsed lung not that long ago, and then his other lung collapsed. And they obviously got it working again because he's still alive, but the prognosis was pretty dire, and he was told by doctors that unless he stopped smoking, he would soon end up on a ventilator and that things would be really quite tricky for him. His dad had died from lung cancer, sadly, 5 years ago, and still none of this was stopping him from smoking. He was so attached to it, and he said he felt very silly because he couldn't stop smoking despite these clear reasons why it would be really, really a good idea to give up. So he came to see me and said that it was kind of the last ditch attempt really at seeing if he could do this, if he could give up, and he'd heard that I might be able to help. So I saw him this week. We did an initial session where we had a chat. I asked some questions and we just clarified the situation a little bit more. And then in the second session the next day, I did my smoking cessation hypnotherapy with him, and I also included some EFT re-imprinting, which is where we go back in time, and what we essentially do is we change the past. It's like time travelling. So you go back to the start of a particular problem, and because of the way this works, we can actually change what happened in our memory, and then that actually changes what our body remembers, and our actual cells and molecules feel different due to the re-imprinting that we do during this part of the session. So we did the standard hypnotherapy that I would normally do, which is always highly effective anyway, but I also added in this extra element, and we actually went back to the first time he started smoking when he was 12, and he chose not to continue smoking because, like with most people, when you first have a cigarette, the first time you smoke, you don't like it and it's horrible, and then you end up just carrying on anyway due to peer pressure or whatever reason, and then before you know it, you're hooked. And so we went back and recreated this memory for him that he didn't actually carry on smoking. He stopped, he chose not to smoke, and then we relived a few moments throughout his life with him imagining himself being a non-smoker at those times, and then we also imagined him being a non-smoker in the future. We did quite a bit of visualisation around that. And it was a really lovely session, a really powerful session, and very positive, that he came out of it feeling fantastic, feeling strong, feeling powerful, feeling really great about himself. And he bounced off, and then I heard later on from him that he didn't want to smoke, and in fact the smell of smoke was disgusting to him. And he had to walk away from his friend who was smoking because he found it so horrible he couldn't be around it. And then today I checked in with him, and he said that he feels fantastic, and he said that he feels as if he has never smoked. Now, this is somebody that smoked since the age of 12, so nearly 30 years of smoking heavily, and he originally said the reason he struggled to stop smoking was because he felt like his mind would explode if he didn't smoke. He'd become so dependent on that smoking to calm himself down. And so felt that he would just not be able to cope with stress, that his stress levels would just go through the roof if he couldn't smoke. And after this session, he feels like he never smoked, and he's not interested in smoking. It's not a battle for him, it's not a struggle. He's not having to get through difficult time where he's tetchy or having withdrawals from nicotine or mood swings. None of that has happened at all. He just feels great and like a non-smoker since the beginning. So this is my miracle of the week, and congratulations to my wonderful client, who obviously I won't name, but that's the one I wanted to share with you this week. So anything is possible, guys, anything at all. So please do get in touch with me if you think I might be able to help you. Thanks for watching.